Hello everyone and welcome to another How to Solo, where I teach you how to solo these fights for yourself so you don't have to look up the videos on your own and study them. Although you might need to study a little bit, but at least you got some guidance. Anyway, after some debate of which fight I was going to cover next, I have decided this fight would be a better choice than Thordan. I might get to Sephiroth soon, but he is probably the hardest fight to solo that I can think of right now, so we will get to him later. Anyway, I will do Thordan EX in the future, but we'll get to that one day. So first off, I'll admit, I did have to use a potion in this run. I didn't want to, and I don't think you need to, especially if you're 470, but I did just to be on the safe side. The run I had before that was a 0.4% wipe, and that was without a pot, and I wasn't happy with that, so I decided that I was just done with this dragon, so I was going to potion him. And I've cleared this fight many times solo with Echo, and this was like a few tries trying to do it without Echo, and it's pretty tough trying to figure it out yourself. So that's why I'm here, to give you a wee bit of help. So let's get into some preparation. Alright, so the gear that you may need is anything that is around 460 or above. Now, I was 467 at the time with some 450 boots and a few unupgraded 460 tombstone pieces, but you can probably be a little bit lower if you really wanted to. It doesn't really matter, but if you're 470 you probably will be around this point, but if you're 470 you've probably got this a little bit easier. For potions, if you decide to use them, any strength potion will work. You can use vitality if you want for the safety part in a specific point that I will probably point out later, but strength is most likely going to be the better one for final phase, so make sure you save it for there if you're ever going to use a potion. And finally, food was robe lettuce salad. I don't know if that's best for tank, it's just what I had for the Epic of Alexander prog on my Dragoons, so that's what I used. Popoto salad works, anything with a vitality stat that comes with those food right now will work. Obviously in 5.2 there will be better food, but for now this is 5.1 and we're going to be using this. And the last thing I'll recommend isn't actually any gear or anything, it's just knowledge of Paladin's rotation. Now, Paladin is really simple, but I think even a newcomer will be able to grasp it quite easily, and I'm sure if you're level 80 you have some idea of how Paladin works, and sometimes you do have to deviate from the general rotation, so at least know how a couple of the skills work, such as Clemency. I would hope you know how Clemency works by now, but yes. I will link a graph in the description for anyone who wants to know. Because you could be new to Paladin, you could have jump potioned it. I don't know your circumstance, and I'm not going to judge, so I will be helpful here. Now without further ado, let's get into the actual guide of the fight. So, the very start of this fight doesn't have any mechanics, so you shouldn't have much trouble here. Simply just do a fight or flight opener, that's how I did it anyway. You can probably fit the other opener in, but this is how I did it. So do a fight or flight opener with a second Royal Authority at the end instead of a Goron Blade, so right off the bat we're deviating from the standard rotation. Pop a Rampart as soon as you can in this phase, it'll be back up for when you need it later, but I guess if you don't want to, you can just not. It really doesn't really matter. I prefer to pop it here so it comes up at a later point. Anyway, once Nidhogg jumps away, there will be a flash on the floor. It will be a circle AoE that follows this flash, so you want to keep in mind how this works for later if you've never done this fight before or are a little unfamiliar. At the same time as the flash, Nidhogg will appear at the edge of the arena in one of many spots. Just look for where he is and dodge the entire lane of where he's going, and you will have to dodge the AoE twice, the circle AoE. So basically, you will dodge the first circle AoE, you will do a dash, then another circle AoE, and then another dash. So just do the same thing twice in a row. A tip is placing the circle in the middle, as it will always appear underneath you, so you can go into the middle the first time easily, and after the Nidhogg is dashed, go into the middle again, and then you can run. Probably not super amazing to do on solo because you've got a lot of room anyway, but I find it's a little bit easier to stand in the middle regardless, so that is how I would work that mechanic out. So once Nidhogg lands, I would open with a Red Grasscat rotation here, or a Firefly if you decided to use Red Grasscat at the start, but if you're following this guide you'll be using Red Grasscat here. So I like to use Clemency on the 4th spell here, for the safety of maximum HP, or close to maximum if it decides it wants to be nasty to you. You can use it anywhere here, but 4th is generally the best because that way you're healing the most amount of HP without losing any more. And 5th you would be using Cofeator anyway, so you might as well just use it on the 4th. And it lines up well with Ad Phase coming up soon anyway, so yeah. So pop a few Sheltrons in this phase, Rampart when it comes up, nothing major. Another Fight or Flight would be good to be used here. The goal of this phase is to get them to around 79%. Once you've done that, you've got into Ad Phase. However, it's not all easy flying because there is one mechanic in this entire phase that you will have to deal with. It's really simple, but I do have a hard time explaining it, so bear with me here. If you cannot follow my words, the video should probably prove it easy enough. Anyway, Hot Wing and Hot Tail. So Hot Wing will mean that Nidhogg will cleave the entire arena on his sides, his wings. That means the safe spot is anywhere north and south, or anywhere in his middle body if he's turned for some reason. And Hot Tail is the opposite, where you want to be on his sides because the entire middle of his body, I'm doing hand gestures here but you can't see it, the entire middle of his body is getting blasted by his fire, or whatever he's doing there. I think it's fire. You don't want to get hit by it though because it gives you burns and that is bad. It's not an instant wipe, but I would recommend not getting hit by it. So what you want to do here is you want to go to the first safe spot, depending on Hot Wing or Hot Tail, wait for the circle AoE to appear, which you found in the dashes, which is the flash, and then a circle AoE will appear. As soon as that circle AoE appears, go into the safe zone, or where he just hit, because that's the new safe zone, and that's the mechanic done. Well done. He usually does both back to back, except in final phase. He does one on its own, but we'll get there when we get there. If you don't manage to get him to 79% here in time, due to gear or something, he'll do another dive bomb phase, which you've seen at the start. Just do it the exact same way it was before. You should only be able to see 2 of those at maximum. I don't really know what happens after that because he's probably gone by then. Just play around with it, you'll see. And that's how that works. So, we're going to go into Ad Phase next, and Ad Phase is probably the hardest part of this entire fight. Except from one other part is debatably harder, but here is, in my opinion, the hardest part of the fight, due to how much damage is going out and how tight it can be. And this is why I recommend being 460 or above. If you're not 460 or above, you're gonna have a little bit of time here that is gonna be hard. Or if you're working with Echo, it'll work. Anyway, on to Ad Phase. So as I said before, the Ad Phase is definitely the test of this fight, so if you can do this, you've got a very good chance of being able to do the rest of the fight. So, first, this is how I do it. First, head to the West Ad, the Brobignac, and you want to get a Goron Blade off on him. Even if you have to start the combo all over again, get a Goron Blade off on him. I like to pop Rampart and Reprisal once the Falak, the East Ad, gets close. Ignore the dragon damage wise, as it's completely irrelevant and you don't want to get him low, otherwise something bad will happen. So during this entire phase you've got to be watching the dragon with your eyes, not your sword, your eyes, because he'll be doing 2 attacks back to back constantly. A fireball and a slash. His fireball will do an AoE around the person who it targets, which is going to be you because you're the only person here. It's usually the furthest person from him, but yeah. You just want to keep moving. The slash as well, he will do it in front of him wherever he is. Just keep moving. If you get hit by any of these, it's basically over, so don't get hit by any of these. They give you a damage down and a physical / magic defense down based on whichever one you get hit by, so you don't want to get hit by these because they'll also deal a huge chunk of your health. And there's debuffs, stacking debuffs from the actual normal ads hitting you that make their attacks do more damage. It's just all around pain. Dodge their attacks, just keep moving. Requiescat allows you to cast instantly while moving, so it should not be a problem. As soon as you can, enter Requiescat and burn down the Brobignac. Use Clemency if required, but if not, just blow him. 4 Holy Spirits, 1 Confator should destroy the Brobignac. If not, kill him before the Confator. For extra safety, you can use Hallowed Ground when you're at 2 stacks of debuffs, but I really wouldn't recommend it here as you'll want it for the last phase and it probably won't be back up. But you can use it for proc's sake. I would recommend learning other cooldowns here. You probably won't need any if you're using Clemency though, so feel it around. It might take a bit of time. But once the Brobignac is defeated, use Fight or Flight to burn down the Phalak. Just do 1 Goron Blade and then Royal Authority. Spam Royal Authority if you want. Atonement is the word I was looking for. And then you'll be able to destroy them. I like to use Sentinel here because the Brobignac is going to start hitting hard, and maybe even a Clemency if I need to. I know it might not be Requiescat buffed, but sometimes you can use the Requiescat buff, and by sometimes I mean most of the time, as we'll find out in phase 2. Once you get to 3 stacks, that's when you're going to start getting hit hard. 4 stacks, you can survive like an attack, but like 2 are going to kill you. I don't even know if you can get to 5 stacks, but if you can, you're dead. So once you've killed the Phalak, you can move on to a dragon. So the best thing about the dragon is that he can't hurt you unless you get hit by his attacks. Like, there's no auto attacks from him, so you can dodge everything. I like to use this time to top my HP up and get some MP. Killing the dragon actually isn't required, but it does make Nidhogg's ultimate hit a little bit harder. Nothing major though, so if you can't kill it, that's all fine. I would recommend killing it because damage mitigated is damage that you don't have to take, I guess. But I wouldn't be worried if you can't take him out, especially in the start of your prog, because it's honestly not that much of a big deal. I don't think you want 2 of them to be alive by the time he does his ultimate. I think then it gets to be a problem, but if just 1 is alive, you're perfectly fine to just don't worry about and continue on to phase 3. There's going to be a lot of mechanics here, and you're going to see some unorthodox Clemencies coming here. Get used to it, because phase 3 onwards is no joke either. Like, this ad phase onwards, you better be on your A game. So this place can be a little bit overwhelming when you're dodging the dragon's attacks while managing your health and killing the 2 ads, but don't be too disheartened. I think that anyone watching this will be able to get it. So good luck on that. Now, we're gonna go on to phase 2. Good luck, guys. So once Nidhogg finishes prancing about in the air like a clown called Kefka, even though he's not a clown, he's a jester, you can get back to slaying the dragon. So start off with a Fight or Flight opener with Rampart and just let the circle drop on you. Nidhogg will put a line away from where you were standing, just dodge it, it's nothing. And pop a Sheltron for the soul tether that will appear. It's a blue tether and it will do medium damage to you. Use a Requiescat rotation here and heal yourself, while also using another Sheltron for the Alamorn that's coming out. I like to heal myself on the 1st and 4th spell, but do whatever you think is better. The Fang and Claw phase is next, and well, this is all just an endurance round. As far as I know, you can't destroy either nail at this current gear level, so you'll have to deal with them exploding at the end. Maybe next gear level we'll be lucky, but for now, this is what we're going to have to deal with. Lucky for us though, they only hit for 50k each and we have nearly 140k. Woohoo, a 40k buffer. Unlucky for us, Nidhogg will be pelting us with balls and stacks, and even Alamorn the entire duration. As soon as Nidhogg casts Alamorn, I like to use Sentinel and Sheltron to mitigate it. The Sentinel will last for the Ire of the Tyrant stack as well, so that's really good. For the second stack that he comes out with, I like to use Reprisal and Sheltron. Sheltron works for the following Alamorn, but I prefer to use it here. I don't really know why, I just do. It can be really tight, but I like to finish my fight or flight window during this phase, before moving to Requiescat. If you're not comfortable with that, then enter Requiescat early and start healing. So I like to Clemency twice during this entire part, and then Holy Spirit. However, I recommend that you just Clemency until you're above 100k and nothing else is going to hit you, and then Clemency once you get hit, because this is going to hurt and you're going to get attacked straight after. You lose out on a Confator here, but you're alive and that's all that matters. DPS isn't too much of an issue when you're progging, so you'll get used to it. So the next part can be real scary due to low health and MP, but rest assured that everything will get into safe levels soon enough, and by soon enough I mean quite a little bit away. So the following Alamorn I use Sheltron, but I also use Rampart just before casting. I meant to say Rampart, but Rampart is also applicable. This will allow it to be up for several hits in the following mechanic. I'm going to talk about the mechanic now. I'm going to separate it from this mechanic because I feel like it warrants a little bit more discussion. So, Nidhogg will jump away and then he will be untargetable. So 4 towers are going to appear. I don't know if it's worth standing in any, so I just kind of go to the southwest corner here with the circle, and as soon as it's gone, I run all the way to the southeast corner. Clemency to raise your health just before the AoE goes off, and then I'll run all the way to the middle while dodging any puddles or towers that are going to go off. I think the towers are gone in this part, but yeah. I usually would pop a Sheltron here, but I don't think it's up half the time, so you can use something different since you won't be losing DPS because you can't target them. Use Wings of Passage or Passage of Arms or whatever it's called, the big wings. You can't miss them because they're wings and everybody loves wings. Use those because they give you a free Sheltron, I think, and you don't have to lose DPS because he's not there, and that will allow you to mitigate some damage from the proximity AoE that you are currently running away from. I like to Clemency myself as much as I can here. Probably have no MP for when he is targetable, but you can get MP back easy enough. So, when Nidhogg is targetable game, use a fight or flight rotation on him. You might not get the full duration out of it, but it'll be good enough. I like to use Reprisal here and Sheltron, but if you've got enough HP, like 70k or something, don't use Reprisal. Trust me, you can save it for something better. Sheltron you should probably have though. You might need to pop more Clemencies here, just unbuffed Clemencies all the way for like quite a bit here, so just use them. There's no shame in it, you need to be alive. Just Clemency whenever you can. Nidhogg will jump away and enter his final phase here. If you have extra MP, you want to get up as high as possible. If you somehow max HP, you don't want to go over max. Kind of obvious to say, but just saying it. I don't know how you would be like that, but if you are, don't. So now we're going to talk about final phase here, so get prepared. You're right at the end, you can do this. I believe in you. So, his intro in final phase is the exact same as it was at the start, with the dive bombs. Just dodge the circle AoE and then dodge his dive bomb. He'll only do it once this time, so you don't have to worry about 2 circles and 2 dive bombs. Just do how you would have phase 1. prepare for his touchdown. So, phase 3. Positioning is extremely important, so try to follow how I position him in the video. I'm not going to describe it, but try to follow it in the video. It should be easy enough. And there's some leeway with what you can get hit by here, but try not to get hit by everything, or you might not make it. Almost as soon as he lands, he will cast an Ak Morn. The initial blast is a lot harder than the rest, however, every Ak Morn he uses, the more follow-on blast there will be, so do not underestimate Ak Morn. For example, his first Ak Morn will hit like 4 times. His second Ak Morn, which he uses later in the fight, will hit 5 times. And then 6 times. And then you get where I'm going. You've probably seen it before, but I thought I'd explain it. The first Ak Morn, I like to use Sentinel and Clemency once he hits me, if I have a Clemency, which I should do because of the move that gives you Clemency. I can't remember the name, but it's the second move in the combo. That should keep you alive. You'll be close and you will take like 2 auto attacks, which do like nothing, especially if you get dodges, for quite a bit of time. I mean, there are mechanics, but you can dodge them, so I'll be taking that into account. So use this to get your MP to at least 8,000 and your rotation. I do a weird fight or flight / pot time in here, but if you want, you can save this fight or flight for a little bit later and the pot for a tiny bit to align with the fight or flight. Either works, because clearly I cleared with this, so it's possible. Mechanic wise, stand under Nidhogg's scrawny wee head is actually kind of big, but shh. Until you see a flash of the circle AoE you saw during Dive Bomb phase, you should be well versed in this by now. Once you see that flash, you want to move forward underneath his belly, and as soon as the outside balls explode, run all the way to the corner to dodge the final balls. Any corner works, just a corner of the arena. Now, important to note that his hot wing that's going off here is not the ball explosion. The ball explosion happens a few seconds afterwards, so make sure you're paying attention to what explodes. Alright? Another Ak Morn will be cast afterwards, so get prepared. Enter Requiescat when you can, and pop Reprisal and Rampart here. That's what I like to do. If you don't have Reprisal here because you used it on the last Ak Morn, which you can do, then that's fine. You'll have a lot of Clemencies here. I like to Clemency myself 3 or 4 times here and finish with a Confiator, but if you have to do more Clemencies, do it. Now, you might be wondering, what is that debuff down at the bottom right? Well, my friend, that is Bitter Hate. And what it does is once it gets to 9, it will hit 50k flat damage. Now what you were supposed to do was tank swap at like 5 stacks, but we can't do that alone. But if you're bringing a friend here, I suppose you could. Or you could kill him before it goes off. Anyway, make sure you're healthy because 50k is a lot of damage. The first Bitter Hate will go off just as the next balls will start to go off. Speaking of balls, we're going to get into them. So, for second ball phase, you'll need to pinpoint which balls spawn second. So, pay attention to that. Sometimes it's a little bit awkward, so you might get hit here, so just be prepared. In this video, the balls on the right or southwest spawn second. Bait the circle flash on the outside of your chosen corner, and as soon as the middle balls explode, run underneath Nidhogg, and then start running to where the second balls were. The circle, by the way, is the same circle flash in the Dive Bomb phase. Whenever I say circle, you'll know exactly what I mean by now because you've seen it a million times. This will allow you to dodge the hot tail and all the burns from the explosion, and of course circle. If you get hit by any of these attacks that isn't the circle, you'll get burns and it will hurt. So it isn't so dangerous because they're just burns, but I would prefer not to get hit by them at all. And the reason why it's not so dangerous you'll find out in a second. If you get hit by the circle flash, by the way, it gives you a hysteria and you'll be just running off somewhere, so you just don't want to get hit by that. Probably should have mentioned that earlier, but you don't want to be hit by anything anyway, so yeah. With my cooldown timing, the Akmorn that is coming up here will actually be the easiest Akmorn you'll ever deal with, because I like to use Hallowed Ground on this one. Wait till about halfway through the cast so that you can extend the time, but yeah. And this is why I do not use it in ad phase, because for me it's never up here. I've tried it, but it's always like off and I have nothing cooldown wise for here. But this is the perfect reset point, because here you don't have to heal for a good 10 seconds, don't have to cooldown for 10 seconds, everything is up for the next Akmorn. This is the best part of the fight. Anyway, use this opportunity to get yourself to full health or near full health and unload whatever damage you can with the rest of your MP, because you should be in Requiescat by now. Now, from here, you've seen the entire fight. He's going to start looping mechanics, and he will do the hot wing once more, and you'll just bait the circle, go under his belly, go to the corner, and then he's going to do another Akmorn. I pop Rampart and Reprisal for this one. However, there's something extremely important to remember here, and it's sneaky as hell and I hate it. In this Akmorn, the Bitter Hate will explode at the same time as the Akmorn goes off. So you just need to Requiescat and heal, heal, heal. I got really fucking greedy and like Holy Spirited once and died because of it. So just heal until it's all over, because this is the hardest part because of that Bitter Hate. This is why we want all the cooldowns for here. If you somehow have cooldowns for the Akmorn before this one, use cooldowns on that one and heal through it, and pop Hallowed Ground on this one if you can, but that's kind of tough, so I can understand if you don't, because I don't either. After this, do the second balls again, but you're probably not going to survive the next Akmorn after that. You could try your Sentinel and whatever you can to cure, and then just pray. If you haven't killed him by this point though, this Akmorn, then the chances of you surviving anything after this is really slim. If he just doesn't outright enrage, because I don't know his enrage timers because he's dead here. But I killed him before the Akmorn I just mentioned, so that was with bad pots and fight or flight timings. I think yous are good. This is one of the toughest challenges to solo. Holy cats. Man, anyone who takes this up, good work to anyone who tries this. Sephiroth is harder, but this one is no easy task either. Servan right now is unbeatable without Echo, so I will not be covering him at all until he is. So, sorry about that to anyone who likes Servan. I think he's pretty cool. Good luck to anyone attempting this, because it is really hard. And if you're using this as a source for any scales, or the bird, or just weapons for some reason, then even more good luck, because you'll need it. And as you can probably not see in this video, I don't remember where I cut off the record, but I didn't get any scales or a bird, even though I already have the bird, so meow to you. So once 5.2 hits, this will be significantly easier. If you're feeling overwhelmed or worried, or you just can't do it, try wait until 5.2, it comes out really soon anyway, and then come back. It probably will be a lot easier then, just due to like an extra few eye levels and food. And if you don't raid at all, then 5.3 will probably be your best bet, due to Tombstone gear being upgradable from the raid and stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching this guide. It was really nice to have you here, even though I can't actually talk to you because this is a video. Anyway, have a good day, have a good afternoon, good luck with this fight, also have a good night, and whatever it is on Mars, hopefully it is not nighttime because I like nighttime, so I have no idea why I said that. Bye, good luck, bye.